Hello everyone and welcome back to the Knit Witch podcast. I am your host, the Knit Witch. My name is Katie. I am a 25-year-old maker living in Rhode Island. Speaking of which, it is a gorgeous winter day here in Rhode Island. It's about 28 degrees and just like beautifully sunny and cold and just like the perfect clear winter day. So I'm in an amazing mood and I'm ready to start sharing with you some of the things that I've been working on over the past week or so since my last episode. So I actually have a finished object to share with you today, unlike last week where I was like, I finished this, but I don't have it. So my first finished object you will have seen if you watched the first episode, and they are the socks that I was kind of designing for my mom. So her birthday was on Saturday, and it was definitely a little bit of a race to the finish to get these bad boys done. But I did finish them, and I will show them to you in just a moment. So her birthday was Saturday, and I was just, I had one sock done, and I was like on the heel of the second sock Saturday day, and my boyfriend was helping her clean out her car and clean the house and just like do things around the house as like, acts of service as a birthday present. And so while those two were occupied, I was just like furiously knitting, trying to finish the socks before dinner time when the presents came out, and definitely failed in that regard, but they were finished by around 8 p.m. So she did get the socks on her birthday. I like left them for her at her place at the dinner table, and she like didn't realize that they were for her. And so the next morning, I'm like, she was wearing just like some other knitted socks. I'm like, Mom, why aren't you wearing your new socks? And she was like, what new socks? And I was like, the new socks that I just gave to you. And she was like, oh my god, I didn't know they were for me. Anyways, tangent aside, I have the socks to show you, and she has been wearing these. You may be able to tell, I feel like the heel is a little bit worn, showing some wear. So this is the sock that I hate. It looks so green on camera. I had this issue last episode too. They are like the quintessential shade of turquoise. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. They are so blue in person and they just look so green on camera. But I can insert a picture of the skein in like daylight for you so you can kind of like see the side-by-side comparison. These look super green on camera, but they're definitely blue. And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see, you can kind of tell on this side, there's some, you definitely can't tell on camera, but I have dark blue speckles and some green speckles in there. I dyed this yarn myself, and I kind of created the pattern myself, but it's just, a cabled sock, and got some cables going in some different directions, and got a heel flap and gusset, toe up, heel flap and gusset, with a reinforced heel turn that you can't see because it's so worn. But yeah, she has just been like wearing the dickens out of these. I gave them to her on Saturday, but she started wearing them on Sunday, and it's now, what day is it? Thursday? And I think she's worn them like every day when she's gotten home from work. She like takes off her work clothes and gets into comfy clothes and is like, time to put on my socks. So I finished those. Very happy that I technically got them done in time. And I have the teensiest, weensiest little remnant of yarn. I think that is 20 grams if I remember correctly. I think this took 86 or 87 grams, and the skein that I used was 106 grams, so I think this is either 19 or 20. But yeah, looks super green on camera, but I promise it is blue. So that is my first and only finished object for you. Wow, okay, well, short FO section today. Let's move on to whips, and I will bring back another thing that I showed you in the first episode, and that is my Hotdish cardigan by Lindsey Fowler. Now you may recall I was playing the game of Yarn Chicken last time. Unfortunately, I lost the game of Yarn Chicken, So let me show you where I am. So if you didn't watch last time, I had just started the second sleeve. Sorry, I'm trying to find it now. I had just started the second sleeve, and it's the Hotdish Cardigan by Lindsey Fowler is a DK weight cardigan that uses 2 strands of fingering weight, or fingering weight held double. So I had just started the second sleeve, and I had like one 50-gram skein and one like 4-gram skein. So I just had to like pull from both ends of the 50-gram skein. And I was like, I hope that's enough to finish the sleeve, because I don't care if I run out for the button band, because I'll just do that in a different color, right? So I ran out for the sleeve. Let me try and show you. That is, you know, there's some hair on it. That is all of the yarn that I have. And it's kind of difficult to show, right? But let me try and fold it in half and show you. I am literally 10 rows away from being done on this sleeve. If I line up the armpits, I can try and show you, because oh my gosh, it's infuriating. So, lined up the armpits, right? This is how far I need to be on the second sleeve, or this is the first sleeve. That's my stitch holder for my second sleeve. And you can tell, like, oh my god, that's all I have left to do. And I ran out of yarn. So I'm gonna have to place an order with Knit Picks and get some more Stroll Tweed. And I'm like, I had this conversation with my boyfriend yesterday, and I was like, it is so maddening to me that the only thing I need from Knit Picks at this juncture is one skein. Like one 50-gram skein of yarn. It's gonna cost me like $6 to buy the yarn, and it's gonna cost me $8 in shipping. So I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, what do I need from Knit Picks? Because when you order a certain amount, I think it's $65, you get free shipping. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it to spend, you know, $13 on one skein of yarn. It's definitely worth it to spend, you know, the extra 50 whatever to get the free shipping. So I have like a little running list of things that I want to order from Knit Picks, and I'm just waiting until I get a big enough order put together. And I'm not too worried about the dye lot issue, because obviously I bought, it's not obvious to you that I bought this yarn last year, but I bought this yarn last year, so the dye lots are going to be radically different. But because it's a marled sweater, I'm really not too worried about it, because I'll just hold one strand of the old and one strand of the new, and you probably won't be able to tell. You know, probably won't be able to tell. So, unfortunately, lost that round of yarn chicken, but, you know, you live and you learn, I guess. And I'm like trying to think, I'm like, I could rip back the other sleeve and just make that sleeve shorter, because I did, like, the cuff goes like over my fingertips, and I'm like, well, if I rip back that sleeve, I can just like make the cuff go to my wrist, and then I'll have, you know, that much extra yarn to finish out the second sleeve. But that's such a pain, I don't want to do that. So I will just wait. This will be on hold. It makes an excellent lap blanket. So, you know, that's what it will be for now. And I just will have this, you know, 2 yards of fingering weight yarn just kind of dangling from it. So that is it for things that you've seen before. I take that back. Last episode you saw my pre-plied handspun. I'm not really sure how to articulate that to you, but you saw my handspun. Well, half of it was on a nitty knotty and half of it was on a drop spindle. And so I finished spinning. The other thing that I was worried about last time was that I wasn't gonna have enough yarn to make a hat, because I only had 124 yards on one nitty knotty, and I was like, it's not enough for a hat. So I spun everything, plied it together. I was having some difficulty with my plying. I don't know why, but my yarn kept snapping it wasn't like the staples were, it wasn't like it was untwisting and the staples were like coming apart. It was literally like, as I was plying it, I don't know if the tension was just too much, like the tension of gravity, because I do everything on a drop spindle. I don't know what was happening. The yarn just like literally snapped. It looked like the fibers had been like cut with scissors. So that was infuriating. So I have, I think like 3 or 4 knots in my ball. But I ended up getting 166 yards of something like a DK weight. There's like some spots where it's a sport weight and some spots where it's more like a worsted weight. So it kind of averages out to be a DK weight. So I started this hat for my boyfriend. This is, let's see if you can see this. This is the ball that I currently have. It's kind of good, you know, kind of good. It's my first time ever plying yarn. Kind of good. I can put in some pictures of what it looks like in skein form, pre-wound, if you will. And so let me try and show you the hat. It is on, let me just show it to you and then I can start explaining. So this is what it looks like so far. You can kind of like see that hand spun texture it's got going on. I like it. It fits me. I'm not going to put it on because I don't want to mess up my hair. But looking good so far, right? I don't know how well you can see on camera, but in person you can really see like the variations in the color. Good job, Katie. And it has like those like light blue patches to like bright blue patches and then like darker navy blue, and it just kind of like, you know, ebbs and flows. This fiber was from Paradise Fibers. It's the colorway High Seas. And I got 4 ounces of it and spun that 166 yards. I feel like I should be getting more yardage. I don't know. It's just like a very dense yarn, and I don't know how to fix that. So if you have any spinning tips, please tell me. So I'm pretty happy with how this is coming out. This is just like a broken rib hat. So it's 1 round of knit 1, purl 1, and then the next round knit every stitch. And I cast on 84 stitches on a US 5 3.75 millimeter needle. So happy I said that first, right? Because you're probably wondering. Yeah, 84 stitches. I originally cast on 96, and then I was looking at it and I was like, that seems really, really big. And my boyfriend does have a very large head, but I like held it up to my own hats that I've made myself, and I'm like, that seems really, really big. Even though the reason I got to 96 is my favorite hat that I've ever made for myself was knit on a US 5, and I cast on 96 stitches for myself. And I was like, oh, I'll just, you know, do the same thing. It came out huge, and I was like, we're gonna scale that back to 84. And it's an all-over ribbed hat, so it should be plenty stretchy for him. The other, like, kind of question I have, I've never knit with my own, like, plied. This is my first ever plied handspun. Obviously, I've never knit with my own plied handspun, so I don't know how much it's gonna, like, bloom or grow when I soak it after I finish the hat, you know? Because I already soaked the yarn to set the twist, and then usually when you block things, they get bigger because the yarn blooms and stuff. But in my head, I'm like, didn't the yarn already bloom when I soaked it to set the twist? Is it gonna bloom again? So this is an experiment. Hopefully it comes out good. So yeah, I started this yesterday, and I made pretty good progress so far. It's like, what is that, 3-4 inches, something like that? 3 inches, let's call it. Yeah. And I've been like meticulously weighing out the ball as I go, because I am afraid of running out of yarn. What a surprise. And I should have enough. So that is the first whip that is actually whipping, you know, the cardigan is on hold. The second whip is actually more of just like a half finished object. So let me show you the done sock first. And again, this is for my boyfriend. I said this last week or last episode. His birthday is on January 1st, New Year's Day. So he will be getting socks as one present and a hat as the other present for like Christmas and then his birthday, because they're a week apart. So whichever I finish first will be for Christmas, and then the other one will be for his birthday. So this is a sock for him. Looks like the socks are gonna get finished first, if I had to guess. This is an all over ribbed sock, so it's gonna be a little tricky to show, so bear with me. Let me try and show it to you. This is kind of strange, right? So yeah, it's an all over ribbed sock, and this is my own hand-dyed yarn again. So I dyed this like tonal gray for him because he wears a lot of gray socks because he's a man. But then I have this really fun heel flap. Let me see how well you can see that. A little contrasting heel flap. And again, dyed the yarn myself. Pretty dang proud of it. It looks really stinking good, if you ask me. It's just like some nice fall colors, some reds, some yellows, some greens. Really, really happy with that. And again, toe up, heel flap and gusset. I really like that construction. I don't know if you heard me talk about this 50 million times already, but I knit my first ever pair of toe up, heel flap and gusset socks earlier this month, like the first week of December. And since then, it is now the third week of December, and I have knit 3 pairs of toe up, heel flap and gusset socks because I'm suddenly in love with them. Even though I used to be like a die-hard fish lips kiss heel knitter, now I'm changing my tune and I'm like, okay, well, this toe up, heel flap and gusset is working out real well. So yep, these are for my boyfriend. I didn't want to do like a traditional knit to, purl to all over because I have this thing where, you know, I need everything to be perfectly centered. And when you do a regular knit to, purl to sock, it's not centered. I mean, you can make it centered, but I didn't want to be boring. So it's kind of a mashup of like a knit to, purl to, and a knit 3 purl to, and I just like arranged it in a way where the stitch counts made sense. So let me put it back on my arm so I can show you. So like on the front of the sock, you have these 2 knit 3 columns, and then the center columns are knit 2. And then on the back of the leg, you have 2 or 3, I can't count. You have multiple knit 3 columns, and then the center 2 are knit 2 columns. So, you know, the math is mathing. It's all working out really well. The leg is a 60 round leg from the end of the heel flap. Just because I was gonna end at 50, because I was like, oh, 50 is like a nice number. And then I was looking at it and I was like, doesn't seem long enough. I'd rather have it, because it's ribbed, it like stretches width-wise, and that kind of like makes it a little shorter when it's all stretched, you know? Conservation of mass and all that. So I would rather have it be a little longer at a 60 round leg, and then it like get shorter when it's stretched out. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm sure you've made socks before. So anyways, this is my progress on the second sock, and sorry, my needles are gonna want to flap around and fly out at you. So again, toe up, team toe up, always. I am on the gusset increases, because again, it's toe up. Yep, gusset increases, you can see those there. I think I only have one more round, maybe 2 more rounds of gusset increases, And then it's time to start the heel. I have my little baby ball right here. That's my heel contrasting color. And then that is my main color. So I'll hopefully get the heel done on that today. Finish the leg tomorrow, maybe? Like, today's Thursday, Christmas is on Sunday, I think. I don't know my days of the week. But whenever Christmas is, I'm sure these will be done. So it looks like he's getting socks for Christmas and the hat for his birthday. So, like I said, his birthday is on New Year's Day. So, in case you care, we're planning on taking a trip to the easternmost point in Maine to watch the sunrise for his birthday on the New Year. Pretty cute, if I do say so myself. So that's kind of all I'm working on right now, and I like had this realization yesterday. I'm like, I am so close to being done with those socks, and I'm so close to being done with that hat. Like, the hat's gonna take me a day and a half maybe. And then after that, I have nothing to work on because my cardigan's on hold until I have enough things in my cart to place an order. The socks are gonna be done. The hat is gonna be done. I have nothing on my spindle right now. So I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be so empty. Like, come Christmas, I don't even have a Christmas Eve cast on. What the H, man? So I've been brainstorming, and 5 years ago or so, when I was first starting to dye my own yarn, I dyed up a sweater's quantity, because of course I did, and I knit myself a flax light. And this was before the flax DK pattern came out, so I just kind of like did some math and then made up my own pattern based on the flax light with some DK weight yarn, which I dyed myself. I did dye it around the Christmas season because I intended it to be a Christmas sweater. Unfortunately, in all of my good intentions, I did not anticipate the fact that I do not wear pink. And I'm sure I'm inserting pictures of this beautiful flax light that I dyed for myself, right? It's gorgeous. It was literally the first yarn I ever dyed, and it came out fucking, pardon my mouth, it came out beautiful, right? I love it so much. I feel like the speckles are so perfectly interspersed, and I have like little to no dye lot differential. Like, I did not even alternate skeins on that sweater, and it looks so seamless and perfect. I am so proud of that yarn, and I have not once worn that sweater in 5 years. I didn't even wear it to take Ravelry pattern project page photos, you know? So my idea is that I'm going to be making the Cloudwatching sweater by Susanne Sommer. And I am going to I'm going to rip out the flax light, I'm going to frog it, because I never wear it. I'm going to frog the flax light and hold that hand-dyed yarn double with a strand of silver or like light gray mohair. And that is going to kind of like just tone down the pink of the sweater, because it's a pretty aggressive pink, if you ask me. It's going to tone down the pink of the sweater and just make it more wearable, in my opinion. Now, I have the best intentions with that, right? I never wear mohair, and I still never wear pink. So why do I think in my little pea brain that I am going to wear a pink mohair sweater? I don't know, but I feel like after I finish it, I'm gonna be a new person, you know what I mean? And like, It's not even something that my boyfriend would wear either, because he doesn't wear pink and he doesn't wear mohair. And so it's like not even a sweater that I could just like gift to him, unto him. But I want to make it. And I bought the pattern for my birthday and I bought the mohair already because it was on sale. So I'm going to be making that next, you know, just next in the grand scheme of things. And again, that pattern is written for fingering weight. My sweater's DK weight plus mohair. So I'm just gonna have to, you know, make it up as I go along. Something apparently that I love doing. So that is what I plan next in the garment world. I also ordered from Nomad because for some reason their Black Friday sale is still going on. So I placed an order from Nomad Yarn, which is just like an undyed yarn supplier. And I really like them because they do a lot of like natural and sustainable fibers, and they also use recycled nylon in like their sock yarn. So I may have ordered 30 skeins of sock yarn in addition to the 25 skeins of DK that I have undyed. Just waiting for me, you know, to get my mojo on and do a dye day. I haven't done a dye day in... It feels like it's been eons, but it's been like 10 days, right? So I haven't done a dye day in a while, so I have to like think about it and plan about it and, you know, get my whole lineup going for this dye day that I'm planning. So I'm probably gonna dye up some sock yarn for my sister and make her some socks. Probably dye up some more sock yarn for my boyfriend, make him some more socks, because he was like, you can make me as many socks as you want. And I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. It's I love knitting, like just in general, the whole process of it. I love doing it. I love dyeing yarn. So like if I can dye yarn and knit with it, like it's a win-win situation. So that is my plans for knitting. I do have plans for spinning. Gotta look in my little bag and get my fiber out. So this is, again, some of the fiber that I bought myself for my birthday. I got it on sale on Etsy. Jakira Farms, like, resells Paradise Fibers. So this is Paradise Fibers fiber. It's the colorway Mystic Forest. It is 100 grams, not 4 ounces. But it's this like really beautiful like blue, purple, pink. I feel like there's some teal green in there. I love it. And I have a feeling I'm going to be making myself some fingerless gloves, or like fingerless mittens I should say, because gloves implies, you know, finger holes, which I hate doing. So my plan for this is to spin it, probably ply it, because I want to get better at plying. So spin this, ply it, fingerless gloves for myself. That's what I'm thinking. Even though, you know, that would be an adorable hat, right? I could do another hat, but like, I don't want to be too repetitive with myself, so perchance, perhaps, some fingerless gloves are in my future with this fiber, and I'm sure, you know, spinning it is going to take me a while in and of itself. And then, you know, just dyeing. Not me, the yarn. In case you didn't know, I do have an Etsy shop where I sell my hand-dyed yarn. And in fact, you are always free, or always welcome, to message me on there, or on Instagram, DM me on Instagram, and request a custom order. Like, I would love, I like I said, I love dyeing. So if you're like, hey, I really like that yarn that you made for your mom, but I don't see it in your shop. Everything that I have listed in my shop is ready to ship. So it's dyed and just kind of like waiting for someone to buy it. But if you see yarn that I've dyed for myself and you're like, I want some of that, message me, because I take meticulous notes, so all of my colorways are pretty repeatable. You know, within reason. It is hand-dyed yarn and not like machine perfect, but I can get it pretty dang close, you know? So if you see something you like on my podcast and you're like, I want some of that, message me on Etsy or on Instagram and I'm all yours, man. I will dye up whatever your heart desires. So that is pretty much it for this episode. I already talked to you a little bit about my life stuff, about my plans for the new year, well, New Year's Day at least, and that's pretty much it. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday week. I know for everyone that celebrates Christmas, it's like this every year because Christmas and New Year's are exactly a week apart, so like it's just this like rush of end of year holiday times. But I hope everyone who does not celebrate Christmas still has a wonderful end of December, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy New Year. So I will see you next time, and thank you so much for watching.